Not the way we wanted to start the season, New York City's. Lots to talk about, lots to dissect. Let's have therapy, New York City's.
Top on. Top on. Top on.
I didn't like that at all, Sam. I didn't like what just happened. Where did the score end? I'm sorry.
127-104. The shellacking.
A shellacking while major components of their team is out injured.
Yep.
Drew Holiday got hurt.
Yep.
DiVincenzo was already hurt.
Yep. Bobby Portis.
Portis, who's their backup big, hurt.
Rodney Hood.
This was... So, we talked about on our last podcast that the Nets in transition... this was one of my worries. The Nets in transition wouldn't be good. I think that's an understatement looking back from this game. The Bucks just seem to be playing on another, to be at another level than us. And the scary part of that for me is I think early on in last series, Kevin Durant had like a big brother type of thing over Giannis, like that thing that Jordan went through with the Pistons, and Kobe with San Antonio for a little bit there, I guess. With that team that you got to get over the hump and pass and beat. That without the Nets being the champion, that I think that kind of was the relationship between the Nets and the Bucks last year. Them beating us, they played us different. Did you feel that? Did you see? Am I being hyperbolic?
No, I mean, I think they definitely look. This is why I've consistently said when I think when like me and you spat with some other Nets fans who I think are far more confident. I think this idea that the Nets are way better than the Bucks, and like the fact that they were up 2-0 and should have gone up 3-0 and all that stuff. Like, if you listen to any smart basketball person, they will say the Bucks figured out something in those final like couple games, and even though the games were still close, like they figured out to like play bigger. They figured like Giannis stopped like kind of Giannis certainly channeled in something, getting to the rim, finding the right matchups, driving and kicking. Like the passing on the Bucks has been way better, and this team this year has way more shooters. Like they are a good team. This notion that the Nets are in a different stratosphere from the Bucks, even when healthy, even with Kyrie is there, like these are the two best teams in basketball. Like they were last year, they probably are this year.
Okay. Let's just talk about the big things that were wrong, and Nick Claxton.
Yep.
Like, you could see sometimes that basketball and the celebrity and the attention is sometimes not good for all players. And everything I'm about to say is innuendo, guessing. I'm looking at the end result and trying to think of how we got here. Nick Claxton was in horrible shape.
Yep.
There were times that he looked like he was running in cement shoes.
Yep.
I have to be concerned when I see a 21-year-old gassed because 3 plays connected, and it, yeah, like it's the fact that this kid refused to play in summer league when that probably was some of the best advice he could have gotten is shocking. Looking at the shape that he's in now, it's a double-edged sword with that kid. On the ball defending, very good. Rebounding, and I don't know how bad his rebounding stats was. Sam,
He had 7 rebounds.
like that, the way that he was playing, he should have gotten 10. And the reason why he couldn't get 10 was, 1, he did not have the energy. 2, he's not strong enough. How did he get skinnier?
So I was thinking about this watching the game because me and you were texting during the summer because when Claxton uploaded some Instagrams, all these Nets fans who like to hype up everything the Nets do were like, "Yo, Claxton looks swole," and me and you were like, "I know we both," and me and you were like, "I know we both wear glasses, and like I get it, but like I know that I'm not seeing a swole Claxton. Like there's no chance. Like I know it's like Semi Ojeleye is swole. Like Giannis's brother is swole. Like Claxton is not is not swole. And so the only thing I wonder is if Claxton at this point needs to be used almost in the inverse way that Bruce Brown is used on offense. So Bruce Brown is little, right? But Bruce Brown is always attacking the rim. Claxton is big, but I think defensively he should be on the perimeter because he had a couple of plays like down low that were like semi-embarrassing. Like they were just like, and you definitely know the plays that I'm talking about. Like I don't remember when exactly.
He just cannot hold his ground.
But as you smartly said, like he can hold his ground. Like if you were like, Sam, who do you want guarding Chris Middleton at the end of the game on the Nets? If you could pick like 1 or 2 guys, I'd be like, honestly, probably Durant or Claxton.
Yeah.
And like, but then if someone was like, Sam, who do you want guarding Bam Adebayo or Giannis at the end of the game? Claxton might not be in my top 5. Like I'd rather have Harden. I'd rather have like Millsap. I'd rather have
on ball. I don't think he did a bad job on Giannis. He got him to miss a couple shots. Where Giannis was beating him was in positioning.
Yep.
And just like it wasn't like he was playing bad defense. Giannis just finished through him. You know what I mean? It's like,
yep.
Last year I used to say, because now I just want Nick to play. I think Nick needs to play, but I may have to amend that coming off this game. I thought last year you had to play him at the 4 because that would give him more opportunity to guard dudes on the perimeter, not get exposed in the paint, and because he's so switchable, he can guard big wings too. I agree with that, right? We've talked about that.
Yep.
The thing is now we don't have any good choices at center. Who is the natural center on the Brooklyn Nets?
I mean, look, today was a bad LaMarcus game. I think,
but he's not a natural center. He's a power forward.
No, he's not. You're right. I mean, no, they don't. You're right. They don't have a quote unquote natural center. I don't know if that really matters though, because I think the way that they probably play, they're better off, like kind of having. I mean, if you remember in the Bucks series, like KD was unbelievable on defense as a rim protector. I know that it's a lot to ask of him, but I think when you need him to do that, he can. And I think Blake I think also can do that to a certain extent. Not really, but to a certain extent. I'm not as concerned about the center role because I think when they're playing good team defense, I don't think it matters as much. But But look, I mean, I think what you're saying though is kind of a microcosm of the fact that like they are obviously still working through rotations, and I
Oh,
mean, they didn't look great at times in the preseason, and Nash consistently said we're still working through things, and boy was he right, because they are. I mean, they're obviously not ready to play. Like they got they got waxed by a team that was missing their third, like fifth, sixth, seventh best players. Like you know, it's it's obviously it's obviously going to be a work in progress with this team because of all the new guys. And look, like let's also call a spade a spade. I can't imagine they didn't have the most productive preseason ever or training camp ever, because a guy who was supposed to log 38 minutes tonight or 32 minutes or 33 minutes wasn't playing. So they had to figure out where all those minutes went. So
so let's talk about him.
you want to talk about him?
Yeah, I mean, not him per se. I want to talk about what people are already saying.
Yep.
Oh no, now y'all want Kyrie, right? Like now, oh Kyrie, we need Kyrie now. Like how much could have Kyrie changed this game?
Um, like I don't really know how much he would have changed the game, to be honest, because Mills was awesome, and I think you're right. Look, if Kyrie was there, then your favorite net, Javon Carter, who I'm getting you a jersey of his in no time. Uh, he
Don't, I'll burn it in effigy.
um, he he played 19 minutes, which is way more minutes than I ever thought he was going to play. That is not what I saw him
Go ahead,
signed.
give the rest of the line. Let's
Yeah,
talk about this Javon
I mean,
Carter dude.
I mean, he almost had a complete O for a night. He got a couple rebounds in garbage time from what I saw.
Yeah.
Had the turnover, but yeah, I mean, he wasn't good. And I think, look, if Kyrie is there, you have to think that Javon Carter's minutes go down. You got to think that Patty Mills played 29 minutes, and he was obviously
What a beast.
but I mean, he's a gamer.
The only person who had any heart tonight.
Yeah,
I felt like Kevin. I mean, you can never doubt that if Kevin played hard or not. He played hard. I just feel like they just were going through the motions. Like tonight wasn't important to them. So not only did these dudes get their rings with us looking at them, they got their rings and then they sparked us.
Yep.
How, like, for every Net fan who's gonna downplay this and say, "Oh, Eve, you're overreacting," these are tone-setting things. We've seen these like cliches come true in sports. You had to send them a message tonight that you were bigger and better.
Yep.
And we didn't. So where Kyrie plays a role in that, he's not here.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's look, I think, and like here's the thing, Nets fans, and me and you talk about this all the time with Matt. Nets fans have this weird thing of not understanding like nuance. Like
Right.
They did not lose tonight's game because of Kyrie. Having said that, if Kyrie played, it would have made things better. Like there were a lot of things that went wrong today. They didn't rebound well. I thought Harden didn't play that good of a game. He had a great first quarter, and then besides that, I thought he was like kind of whatever. They got 0 out of LaMarcus, who which is fine. LaMarcus, I got texts from friends saying LaMarcus is washed, and I was like, it's his first game back, and he barely played last year. Like, give the guy a break. Like, we'll see. I'm a little more worried about our favorite guy from the Milwaukee series, Joe Harris, who he just doesn't totally look right to me.
You gotta excuse me, my dude. My wife, who's just back from Texas, just rolled me the most gigantic joint I've ever seen, and she said, "Don't bring that shit to bed." So